moderating this. Okay, so you can see up the top right hand corner now, I think, of your screens, there was a message that just popped up saying that the meeting's being recorded. Okay, so okay, so you can see up the top right hand corner now, I think, of your screens, there was a message that just popped up saying that the meeting's being recorded. Okay, so there's a lot of activity going on in the chat box, which is good to see. I turned off the microphones so that you're not all talking over me and each other. It's not really a power thing, honest. It's just trying to help me out as moderating this session. So what I'm out to do for this hour is just make sure that you're all set up properly, that if you want to chat, that you can chat and that you can hear, and that we're all set up for tomorrow's session proper. Also, I want to make sure that you're happy with finding your way around and can do anything that you want to do. So if we could do it so that if you've got a question, you put your hand up. Now you do that down the bottom left-hand corner. There's little icons. Can everybody find those okay? A great idea, Caro. If you can all use the little agree green tick icon so I can see that you found it okay. Okay, Angela, are you okay with finding that? It should be down on the same place that you had the stepped away icon. Okay, Caro's brought up a really good point in that the screen resolution is set quite high, so it's not taking up much of the screen. I'm going to increase this. I'm going to sort out the screen resolution. Just let me know if it's better or worse for you. I'm just doing a bit of shuffling around to the windows a minute. And if you want to increase the text size, you can just click on the little cogwheel down the bottom right hand corner of any of the pods, and you can sort out text size for yourself down there. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I think, is we're just going to let everybody have a little bit of a say. So I'm going to one by one go through, turn on, enable your microphone, and you can just introduce yourself to the group and say if you've had any experience of doing online meeting kind of stuff that we're doing here. That'll be good. So, Mr. GZ, we can all hear you. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, it's Greg. I was just going to ask a question. If I was working on something, can I share that with the group for some feedback?
Yes, you can indeed. Should you want to have a go at doing that now?
It's a work in progress. Caroline will see that. It's for her course, actually, but we'll ignore that for now.
Okay, so I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll carry on with the introduction so everybody gets to have a say, and then as soon as we have the introductions, we'll have a look at sharing stuff on screen with what you've got to show us, if you're happy to do that.
Yeah, we'll go for that. I just want to see if everybody can, see something and then provide, comment or anything, just to see what would happen.
Yeah, I think that would be great. So, is there anything you want to say about yourself, Greg?
Sorry. Oh, what's happening?
Yeah, I was just asking, basically we're going through and taking turns and just saying hi and introducing ourselves and saying if we've had any experience before on doing this kind of thing.
I just need to get somebody away from my door a minute, hang on.
The beauty of real-time online meetings, huh? Okay, we'll just wait for Greg to come back a second.
Dude, I think a student thought you were in here and you're ignoring them.
Was somebody for me up there?
Yeah, well, they could hear me talking and hear your voice, and I think from outside the door, I think they thought like I was either, well, both of us may have been ignoring them.
Very good. So you're done talking?
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with the talk function now. Is there any way to just have a say? I wanted to discuss something with one person in particular via voice. Is that possible on here?
Right, that is a very good question, and I've got to be honest, I don't know. So I will look into that for sure for the session tomorrow. Just so everybody knows, if you want to communicate privately with somebody, then you can do that via chat for sure, just by typing in your message and then making sure in the to box you select whether it's to everyone or if it's a private comment to somebody else. If it's a private comment like what the hell's Pete going on about to somebody, then you can be assured that I will not be able to see that. So yeah, free reign basically. So, but yeah, I'll look into that and find out because that would be quite a useful feature, I think. So, Greg, have you got anything other to say, or are you happy with that?
No, I'm happy for now. I can see it working. That will do for now.
Okay, thanks very much for that, and we'll go through the rest of the people and we'll come back to that great idea of sharing a screen. Okay, next up is Angela. Hang on a second and I'll just enable your microphone. So, Angela, good morning. Would you like to just say a few brief words? Angela, can you hear me okay? Okay, I'm not sure if Angela's had to go out and sort out the dog again or not, so we're going to come back to Angela, and we're going to go on to Caro next. So hang on a second while I enable your microphone. Oh, hang on. I have I have it on good authority in the chat that Angela is here. So Angela, how are you doing? Oh no, try again then.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm holding down the button.
We can hear you now. That's fine now, Angela.
Sorry, I did give you a big talk about the dog, but you didn't. You obviously couldn't hear it. Yeah, the postman came, and no, John, it wasn't a magazine. And hello, everybody. Sorry about that. I expect the dog will woof throughout the day, and I won't hear anything at all, but never mind. Is that enough? What am I supposed to say? I didn't hear the instructions.
It's fine, Angela. Just to say hi. Good to hear about the dog. And
Make the dog woof now. I can poke it if you like.
have you had any experience of doing this kind of thing before at all?
No, well, only with you as the offshoot of that little course we did for about 10 minutes, but no, nothing.
Cool. Well, you're up and running, and you're talking, and you're hearing, and all kinds of stuff's going on. So that's good. Okay, then if you're happy with that, I'll move on and let Caro introduce herself. Okay, so hello and welcome, Caro. What would you like to say about yourself?
Hi, can you? Right, not a lot at the moment. Can you hear me first of all?
Yes, you're coming through loud and clear to me. Perhaps other people might like to enter in the chat box if they can hear Caro okay.
Okay, I will give you a prize if you can guess where I am.
I feel like I should open a poll pod, but there we are, people. Guess if you can guess where Caro is. I reckon you're on a boat.
Okay, have you finished guessing? Somebody says North Pole. Okay, the prize is going to be a pack of jelly babies. No, I'm not in the L&T office. I'm in Essex. No, I'm not Wood Lane. Wood Lane isn't in Essex.
What are you doing there?
I'm looking after my mummy, who's just come out of hospital having had a big heart operation. So I'm dodging between the computer and having coffee and going for gentle like that. So that's fine. In terms of this type of meeting space, I have actually used two other forums that are similar. One is called Illuminate, and I actually did an online conference with that. And what was interesting about that is that it had a webcam facility, which I think this does, doesn't it, Pete? And actually it had also the facility for breakout rooms, because I think Greg was just asking about, is it possible to chat to individual people? And with Illuminate, yes, you could do that. The other one that I use on a regular basis, at least once or twice a month, is Flash Meeting, which was developed by the Open University. The good thing about that, in some ways it's a bit clunky, but one thing that it does do, it means that you can't talk over the top of each other. You actually have to put your hand up to talk, and you take it in turns, which means that you don't have confusing conversations, but it does mean that actually if you're the fourth one to talk, what you were going to say isn't actually now particularly relevant. So that can be a downside, but it does mean that you don't have overlay of sound. So that's my experience of it. Okay, that's me finished now.
Brilliant. Thanks very much for that, Caro, and speedy recovery to your mum. And thank you very much for making it online despite being busy. Yes, it's interesting to hear then your experiences, and I can confirm that you can have breakout rooms on this platform, so we'll be exploring those tomorrow in the session proper. And indeed what we're doing at the minute is I've disabled everybody's microphone apart from the person that's speaking, so that we don't get ensuing chaos and everybody talking over each other. And we've got the put your hand up function as well. So I think what will transpire is that the meeting is as good as the person running it. So hopefully tomorrow I can pull my finger out and do a good job there. Well, thank you very much for that then, Caro. Okay, John, we're coming to you next. So, morning, John. Thank you for making it. What would you like to say about yourself?
Hello. Hopefully you can all hear me. I'm in my office. I'm not in Essex or anywhere nice, unfortunately. And the sun's out. And to be fair, I think we all wish we'd be on the beach. But going very well so far. As far as other platforms, obviously as the learning technologist, I do a lot of work within Moodle, and we've used other tools as well. We've actually used Adobe Connect before in previous sessions, but not really explored all the possibilities of it. I think what you said just a minute ago, Pete, was quite true. From our experience so far, it is down to the mediator, the person running the actual classroom as such. That's very important because it can very easily get out of hand. We do a lot of work with asynchronous, so forums. And that seems to suit a lot of our needs and distance learners very well, particularly with their busy lifestyles, and arranging everyone to meet at a certain time, as you've all found with this, is actually quite difficult. But that said, they're obviously a fantastic resource, and used the right way I've used a couple of other tools, but nothing really quite as good as this Adobe Connect. And that's probably enough from me waffling on, really. So hopefully that's enough. Let me know if you all got that.
Okay, sorry about this brief delay there, John. I'm just giving you a little bit of applause, as you can see from the icon. Nicely said. Thank you very much for your contribution. And yes, I'm looking forward to coming and having a chat over a coffee about well, everything to do with this kind of platform and Moodle and stuff like that, because I think there's different things suit different circumstances. So thank you very much for that. Okay, Mr. Juju isn't speaking today because it's me. So we're now going to go to Mr. Ninja Parker. So, Mr. Ninja Parker, how are you today? Maybe you'd like to introduce yourself to the group.
Hi everyone, I'm Al Parker, Interactive TI. First off, I haven't had that much experience working in like a learning environment with this sort of stuff. But I think generally my social sort of background is in forums and MSN and things like that, and I can see a lot of similarities in that link. So I think it's pretty good. I think I've picked up on it quite well. It's quite intuitive. So I think if the new generation is so used to working online anyway, I think they'll just kind of jump on the bandwagon with this thing and work it out. So I think it's pretty good.
Nicely said there, my man. Thank you very much for that, and it's good that people have now
One more gripe, how dare they make it in AS2?
You know that I'll have that doorbell sooner or later from you. Right, brilliant. Thank you so much all for having a bit of a go there, and it's nice to hear everybody talking. I think it helps the flow of the meeting if you do get a chance to talk rather than just type. And thank you all again for taking part. So I think what's particularly interesting is the potential to share your screen and, from my point of view as a technical instructor, to do virtual support for people. So Greg has got an ideal thing now that we can try out doing, in that hopefully what will happen is I'm going to enable a screen share pod, and Greg is going to show us and talk us through what he would like some feedback on. So what I will do now is I'll enable Greg's microphone and enable a share pod, and he can talk us through what he wants to do.
Oh, right.
Okay, just bear with me a minute while I shuffle the pods around. Greg's now got his bit of feedback.
Hello? If it's, because all the windows are shuffling around as I speak, it should be a collaborative presentation that I'm working on via email with somebody, so that it's not complete in any shape or form, and hopefully everyone can see it, just get some views, see if Connect Pro could be used in this way.
Back there. Okay, I think we've got a little bit of a problem here. Mr. Juju is just seeing a blue hatch screen. Can everybody confirm that they have got a bit of a problem at the minute? Okay, Greg, I think what we need to do is shut down that pod. I'm going to open a new pod. What did you click on to share?
I chose to share my computer screen and PowerPoint only.
Yeah, I think from when I've been playing around, the best way to do it is just if you share your kind of desktop, so you're sharing everything, then it will show up better. So give it a go that way a minute. Yeah, so have a go this time at sharing your desktop. Yeah, that's better.
I chose desktop.
Have you got two screens available?
Talking to me, Pete?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, Greg, I am. Are you working on two screens at the minute? Have you got two screens available to you?
So I'm only on the laptop. I could.
Now, I'll tell you what to do. If you just talk, you can go to hands-free, I think, on the talk bar, and then if you minimize down Connect Pro and show us what you're doing in PowerPoint, then we can see that. And then once you finish talking through and you want the feedback, you can then flip back into Connect Pro to get the feedback. How does that sound? Should we try that?
Plug the external. I'll give it a go. Where's the hands-free icon?
It's the little kind of lock-looking bag kind of symbol thing right next to the talk bar.
Oh yeah, okay. Don't look like hands-free, but anyway, never mind. Okay.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Yeah, you're fine.
So is that PowerPoint now?
Yeah, that's looking good.
Have you got control of my screen, or am I just presenting it?
No, you've got control of your screen. All we can do, including me, is we can see what you're presenting.
Okay. Is that a potential option though? For you to have control and look at my work.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anybody's got any feedback once you've said what you need to say, maybe we could give that a go.
Okay, right. Let's give it a go. Okay, so myself and Liz are trying to build a PowerPoint for our PGCHE even summer school. We've had a couple of meetings, and now I'm sort of trying to slot it together and make it concise. So we're both technical instructors, so I'm just trying to find descriptions that definitely demonstrate what we actually are here to do. To start with, and the fact that Liz's discipline is ceramics and mine's video editing, but in effect, apart from the slight change in the job title and different practices, the job description is the same. And then we were looking at approaches to our work, and because Liz is following a remit set by the course, and at the moment it's one course, whereas I'm having to cover, in effect, any course which can be eligible to come in, and just talking about how we do workshops. But Liz is basically just following the unit guides and the guidelines per course. I'm doing that, but I'm also looking for new procedures and techniques that are used in the industry and trying to translate that back to students in separate sessions. So we're just trying to sort of show and outline, if we can, that there's two different sort of ways of working kind of going on at the minute. But then we're looking at any internal and external influences, because we found out, don't actually hold a degree but have substantial experience. And we decided that internally Liz is being driven by the course, whereas I'm having to perform a balancing act because every course has something different they require from me. And I've got to try and fit things in. Externally, Liz has been doing work with schools and colleges, artists and craftsmen, whereas I've been a freelance editor. And we were just trying to then think about what certification we had relevant to our fields that show that we practice what we preach. And then I just put a little picture in that I found online about different things that we felt were worth talking about in the presentation. Then the nitty-gritty, we're then focusing on the fact that Liz was happy to be quoted saying that she's reacting to old style teaching, and I've decided that enough's enough. I'm doing it different, and Liz therefore feels she's affected by regurgitation and other things, and is a bit hesitant with that. And I'm hoping, for various reasons, that it'll change the landscape of my teaching, which then will also improve my working environment and atmosphere, as well as for the students. We're then thinking about, this is where the slides start getting less concise now, because I'm still thinking. We're then thinking about the development, the routes that we're going to go, the fact that we're both on the PGCHE, and we were both talking about potentially applying for the PG DIP HE. And then Liz was thinking about some of the things that I've put into place that she could mimic and alter for her discipline. But I haven't figured out that slide yet. We were trying to sum up what we should be doing regularly to help our professional practice. Again, these slides aren't finished yet. I'm just trying to write ideas down, and then there's a few quotes that we found, but I haven't highlighted the bits that I want emphasis on yet. That's pretty much about it.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks a lot for that, Greg. Just to let you know, the sound did seem to drop out a little bit, but we did get the gist of what you were saying, I feel, and obviously we could see the slides. I think that might have been because of a network glitch or something. So, people, what we can do is, if you want to ask Greg a question, you can just put your hand up, and Caro has done that, so I'm just going to let her speak a minute.
Greg, thanks.
Okay, Caroline, over to you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for sharing that. That's really nice. A nice visual PowerPoint. I think just 3 little bits of feedback that might help. I think it's always useful on PowerPoints to think about the amount of words you've got on a PowerPoint, and it might be that you might want to bullet point more briefly and add some of the words, some of the text into your notes that actually accompany your individual section of the PowerPoint. I really like the fact that you are going to include quotes, quotes from students about your role, perhaps quotes, wider theoretical quotes about the understanding of a technical supporting role for learning. That might be useful. And what else did I write down? Oh yes, I think what we should do slide. I wonder whether there's a point at which you can do a sort of SWOT analysis. So you look at the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats to what you might like to grow the TI role in, because that would have an application to TIs in any subject area. So no, it's shaping up really nicely. Well done. Thanks very much.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much for that. Greg, could I ask you to do me a favour, please? Could you just share the PowerPoint slides with us again? I would like to show people a potential thing that we can do in Connect Pro. Okay, lovely. Thanks for that. And as I typed in, as you might not have seen, because you hopefully were paying attention to what Greg was saying, if you do want to ask any questions to Greg or me or anybody else, you can just put your hand up and I can grant you microphone rights. What I'd quite like to try and have a go at now is, if we've got Greg's slide on the SharePod like we have, I should be able to do a new whiteboard overlay. So I'm just going to try doing that, and what you should be able to do is all of you should be able to write on that whiteboard. Brilliant. This is where I find that option is greyed out. So I've got that wrong. Because Greg's sharing the screen, we can't do an overlay. What we can do is if somebody uploads an image file, like a JPEG or something like that, then we can do a whiteboard overlay. So has anybody got a JPEG image that they could upload and we could have a look at? And while you're thinking about that, I'm just being a really bad host, and I've just thought that I've not given Greg a chance to respond to the feedback that he's just got. So I'm just going to enable Greg's microphone so that he can speak if he wants to.
Thanks, Pete. I was actually trying to raise my hand at some point to say I should be saying thanks to Caroline because I've written some notes quickly, but I couldn't have the chance. I guess that's a limitation if you forget to give me back the access. Yeah, thanks for that. I'll have another email to Liz and we'll aim to have that finished this week, I think. The other thing I was going to suggest, Pete, is there, if this was, say, student, how can I put it? Is there a way I could upload the PowerPoint to Connect Pro so that then we could have a chat about it?
Yeah, that's a really good point, Greg. And in theory, there'll be no problem doing that. So I know John, I think, hopefully is working on uploading, getting an image together that we can have a look at. But if you'd like to have a go uploading the PowerPoint presentation, that would be really good. I'm going to create a new file share pod, and you should just be able to upload the PowerPoint. So let's give that a go a second. So it looks like Greg is having a go now uploading the PowerPoint presentation, so we shall see if this works. So hopefully everybody can now see Greg's PowerPoint, and I think, can you actually independently scroll through the different pages? Can you let me know, somebody, please? Excellent. So it looks like you can independently go through Greg's PowerPoint. Now, if I click on this button here, can you still do that? Okay, so what I've got here, it would appear that somebody can, because it's changing on my screen. Okay, well, That's interesting. So we found out that you can upload nice and easy a PowerPoint presentation, which is quite useful. I think there should be a facility where I can control what we're seeing so we stay on the same page, and then there's another facility where I can relinquish control and you can independently go through just threw me then because people have found out that there's a whiteboard overlay enabled, because as you can see you can type over the top of Greg's thing. So there we go. That's another little bit of an insight in that we can share PowerPoint presentations, and the facility to have a whiteboard overlay, as I was talking about, you've clearly discovered. So John, thanks for trying to upload those image files. Again, that's something I need to look into now, because I believe that you could upload JPEG, so I'll have to look at that. Yeah, and again, this is really good because they're getting lots of questions being brought up about whether we can, as you can see, whether we can save these additional comments, which would be another thing for me to look at for tomorrow. Okay, so is there anything else on this session that people want to know about how to do? Yeah, Cara, good point on the webcam thing. Let's try and enable that now. I'm assuming that you have webcam capability there? Okay, I'm a bit sketchy on the whole webcam thing, but I think if I enable a pod, okay, there's a webcam pod there available for somebody to have a go with.
Oh, hello. I can see myself on
Hello, we can see you.
Can we see everyone? Ooh.
Marvellous. We can see Greg and John and Caro. We can see everybody. Are you all able to talk at the same time?
Hello?
Don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
You tell us, Pete.
Yeah, so it would appear that you all can speak simultaneously. Yeah, this is now causing chaos. Endless echo happening.
Can you take control, please, Mr. Juicy, or whatever you call it?
Right, I've put an end to that. That looked quite good. It was nice to be able to see everybody on the screen at once. So again, I think this afternoon, before our proper session tomorrow, I'll look into webcam a bit more and see if I can moderate that a bit more for tomorrow's session. Yeah, go on then, Greg. What you got to say?
In theory, Pete, could you set it up so you have a pod or whatever you call it with both people on the webcam and maybe a PowerPoint or something that then with a whiteboard overlay they can be talking, critiquing, reviewing, and kind of collaborating on or just feedbacking on?
Yes, I don't think it's any problem in theory with that happening at all. So might that be something that you'd like to have a go at tomorrow in the session?
Yeah, that is actually what my intention of showing the PowerPoint was really this morning, was to see if that could be possible. Just if say your lecturer, tutor, or whatever was couldn't physically make it in, could you still in effect, sort of have a little session or a tutorial going through discussing that? That was my thought really, just to see the potential of something I'm finding is students don't want to come in. That's all.
Yeah, sure. I think what I'll do tomorrow then is in the session proper. In fact, while I'm talking about it, I'll tell you what I've got planned. It's a 2-hour session tomorrow, which you hopefully all know, between 2 and 4. So I hope you can make it, or if not for the whole session, then at least for part of it. And we're going to do breakout rooms. We're going to discuss something, and then we're going to come back to the main room. So the discussion in the breakout rooms would probably be quite interesting to try doing what you've just suggested, in having webcams and a kind of a whiteboard overlay. So I think as we're getting close to finishing time, we've got 10 minutes. What I would quite like to do now is just show you that it is possible to help somebody on their computer by actually taking control of their computer if they're completely lost and got no idea. So can I have somebody volunteer, please, for me to help them out with something on their computer? Yes, Mr. Ninja Parker, can you help me out? Hi, Al, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hooray. So you would like me to help you do something on your computer, I understand?
Yeah, I'm not sure what, but you could come and open up Photoshop or something and show us some Photoshop techniques if you wanted.
Yeah, okay. So you've got a problem in that you've got an image that you're going to open up in Photoshop in a minute when you're sharing your screen, and then I'm going to take control and I'm going to crop the image for you. Isn't that right?
Yeah, how did you know?
They don't call me Mr. Juju for nothing. Right. I'm going to go ahead and open the SharePod now for you. Okay, so you should be able to share if you open up Photoshop, you should be able to share Photoshop. In fact, I would recommend that you share the whole of your desktop. Mr. Parker, are you there?
Yeah, I'm just opening up Photoshop and opening up an image. I'm almost there.
Brilliant. We should be able to, while it's opening, click on the what do you want to share my computer screen, and it should show us that happening. Ideal. So we can actually see your what you're doing on your desktop now. So you presumably you're looking for that crucial image that needs to be cropped.
Alright. Right. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, we can now. We can see a rather fine-looking Coca-Cola robot, I believe. Can everybody confirm that they can see what's going on? Okay, so poor Mr. Parker is in a quandary because he wants to crop his Coca-Cola robots. And I could take great care and attention and explain to him how to do that, which would probably be the best option. But if for some reason he just wanted me to show him how to do that by taking control, this is should be possible. Yeah, bye, Caro. Thanks very much for dropping in. See you tomorrow. So the first thing I do is I request control. And now in theory I have control of Al's screen. So let's see. You have to bear with me a minute. I'm having trouble seeing what I'm doing. Okay, so Al, would you like to confirm that you haven't just put that crop box around the robot? In fact, I did. Okay, now you need to flip back into Photoshop. Thank you very much, and I shall now just carry through the crop. Okay, so there we go. I've now successfully managed to take control of Al's machine and do the crop for him. So yeah, thanks very much for that, Al. Okay, so we're pretty much at the end of our hour orientation session. So I hope that you're all fairly happy with kind of moving around and using the meeting room. And we'll meet up again tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And hopefully we'll have an interesting and exciting session on our hands. So thank you very much, everybody, for attending. And yeah, unless anybody else has got anything else to say, I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Okay, guys, I think that's a wrap. Cheers for your help, dudes, and I shall see you in a minute. Well, whenever.